Hello, listeners, and welcome to episode 14 of Push2 A Plat Level Cap, the only show interested in raising your level and our own. And I'm joined by the wonderful, the Platlacious, I suppose we could call him this week, CoolKidJoe. How are you today, sir?
Oh, we're killing it this week again.
You really are. We were talking before we started, and you've gone on a mass Japanese visual novel spree. You've gone on a Ratalaika spree as well. You're doing everything. You're doing everything, which is wonderful. What are the numbers for this week? What level? What plats? What's going on?
We're at level 64. We're at 376 plat now, so we're up 17 from last week. We cracked the top 400 in the US finally. When we recorded last week, I was at 401, unfortunately, and I couldn't get in there, but now we're 359th.
Yeah, it's more than cracked it. That's fantastic.
Yeah, we dug a little deep in there, and I cracked the top 2,000 worldwide.
Congratulations. Yeah, that's. I mean, 17 plats in 1 week. That is crazy. That's crazy in itself. But 41, 42 places as well in the US. That's good. That's good. 376. So when are we going to see 400? What, 2 weeks? Do you think about that?
Maybe 3 weeks. Depends on work and how tired I am. I had a day where I just did nothing this week too. So
Oh, so 17 plats in 6 days, of course, just as you do, why not? And that's good. And do you know what 400 is yet? Can I present the case for Barbie? Is that still on the cards?
Barbie is on the cards. I have my riding
Good.
stables here as well.
Ooh,
I got a bunch of games in the mail recently. Some Vita games, some Lego games that I like Lego Jurassic Park. I'm a big fan of, so maybe I'll do that again. I'm still sitting on Call of Duty Modern Warfare as well, and I'm a big fan of that.
Plenty of choice. Well, listeners, it's a very uneventful week for me. I've been trapped in a JRPG that never ends. Well, look, is it a JRPG or a visual novel? You be the judge of that, I suppose. So I hit 1,075 off the back of a little bit of spam as well, and holding steady at 64th in the world, Joe. But it's very competitive. We've got an Italian, we've got Brazilians. I think there's a Chinese person having a go there. It's all happening, So it's just this little old man from Australia is just keeping his teeth just above water at this stage. But Joe, I'm hoping you can help me out here because as I said, I've been waylaid by this JRPG for some time, but now I understand there are another week of good sales. I mean, every week is a good sale at the moment. But what have you found in these sales for us this week?
So there's two sales right now. There's the extended play sale, which has some longer games, but there's still a couple easy ones in there. And there's an under 15 sale, $15 sale, and there's I believe it's under £12 on the UK store.
Okay,
That one I didn't
okay.
really check out. They're usually for the most part the same. You might find like a stack or two in there. But for the extended play sale, let's start off. We had a conversation about this Lego Harry Potter collection. You and I.
Just before we get into that, do you think the word extended play really qualifies for either of us? I mean, are either of us looking for extended play?
No.
I don't think so either. But that sort of alludes to what you were saying with the Harry Potter. You were saying, do you need to buy it or not, or do you need it? I think.
Yeah, I asked you. I asked you the other day if I needed to buy it, and you're like, "Is it longer than 2 hours?"
Well, that's very true, though, isn't it? Isn't that one of the longest ones as well, or substantially longer ones? I think.
That one I don't know. I've never played that one because that one was PS3 exclusive. It did not come out on the 360, and then it came out on the Xbox One and the PS4 when they remastered it. But I believe the PS4 one, if I'm not mistaken, came out a lot sooner than the Xbox One version.
Yeah, that one, I believe that one, Redbeard Rick, Patreon producer Redbeard Rick, has finished at least years 1 to 4 recently, and I heard him moaning about never doing it again. So be careful that one. So, but there's more here. There's more. I see. What else have you got?
So we got Lego Marvel Avengers, which is one of the better ones in my opinion. Far Cry 4, Far Cry New Dawn, Far Cry Primal. If you're into those open world Far Cry games, Lego DC Supervillains, Borderlands 3. Someone should co-op that with us. I'm gonna say it every time it's on sale until someone does it.
Yes. I like it, yeah. And then the under 15 sale, you've pulled out a few titles as well.
Yeah, Fractured Minds, I believe is $1.50 on the US store. The game takes about 10 minutes. It's not a plat, but it's incredibly easy, and the proceeds of profits go to, I believe, medical, or not medical, mental health awareness. Then Perils of Baking, which is cross-buy, 1979, The Revolution. Incredibly easy plat, but not one that I could particularly get into. I found it quite boring. One of your favorites. You wanna shout this one out?
Yes, of course, the wonderful, the game of the year candidate at this stage with The Last of Us 2 being pushed back again, the Snaky Bus. And do you think, Joe, maybe now you'll be tempted? I don't know what the price is on this thing, but is it in the range of temptation?
I think it's $9, and just
Mm,
because you obsess over it every time we get a chance to talk about it, I might have to bite on it. I did just buy a couple games from both of these sales, so
mm.
I might have to get another PSN card and grab that.
It does have a 420 trophy in it as well, so it's worth it.
Ooh, it's not something I do in my free time, but I do appreciate the references to stuff like that.
It'll be something you do after you've played Snaky Bus, trust me.
Ooh.
And what else have we? Oh, more Lego. Oh, more Lego.
Yeah, we have some more Lego games. Lego Jurassic Park, which is actually my favorite Lego
Mhm,
title.
mhm.
I'm a big fan of that one. Wander Song, which this one I didn't do that much research on, but I know it takes about 45 minutes on the Xbox One because there's some cheat codes that you can do. I would imagine that they are also on the PS4 version as well. A Way Out, which I just bought, and I'm
Yeah.
actually looking for someone to co-op that with as well. If someone is willing to play that with me, because that one I have to co-op with someone. Shoot me a message. If not, I'll ask my buddy Sal, who just got his first plat. We gave him a shout out last week.
Mm.
Limbo and Inside are both on sale. Limbo is a little bit more difficult because of the five deaths trophy. Inside is quite easy, both 100% games. South Park: The Stick of Truth, which is about in the 15-hour range, but quite comedic, in my opinion. I was a big fan of that when I played it. I also have the collector's edition, and the Cartman statue of him as the wizard is on my desk.
That's fantastic.
Yes, Cars 3.
Yeah, that's a good choice. And for your buddy Sal, A Way Out is actually quite a good game if you're gonna play that legit in co-op. So that could be a good option for him for plat number two. And it's quite manageable as well. I think like 5 to 6 hours. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
good choice. Yeah, excellent. So look, hopefully we've helped you part way with more of your money at this time, listeners, which is probably what you're trying to avoid. But I mean, the sales have been very good lately, Joe. So it is the right time to move on those now. Let's move before we get into games last week, Joe. I get the feeling you took a little bit of a front, a bit of offense perhaps, to me calling you out here on one of the greatest spam titles on the PlayStation, The Little Adventures on the Prairie. Obviously, I was shocked and mortified that you had not finished it. It's amazing. But you have now, apparently. You've gone ahead and you've knocked out the 3-minute game.
correct. So I don't remember what happened, but I feel like I had an issue with it, or like I didn't know that you could just like spam the attack button. Or I feel like that might have been the issue. So like I kept dying when you would
Mm,
like run into an enemy. Because I mean, like, there's no way to like really like
mm.
avoid them. They're just kind of there, and it's just like the way that the mechanics are. And you were talking to me about it before we recorded, and then I wasn't expecting you to throw it out in the middle of the episode, but you did, and so I was like, oh well, if this is really like 10 minutes, I have to finish it. So I
Mm.
like I booted it up, and like the four levels are available. So then like I beat level 6, or no, not level 6, level 8, because they're like 3 pages with 4 levels on each, and I get the trophy for it. And I'm like, and I can't go to the next level, like it won't let me, and I think I keep dying or something like that because it won't go to the next level. So I'm like, oh, what the hell's wrong with
Ooh.
this or whatever. And it turns out I didn't do 5, 6, or 7, so I had to do all those too, and then it let me go to the next one. So I that could have also been one of the issues that I had with it. I'm not sure. And then I ripped through the last like 7, 8 levels that I needed to do, and then I did it on the Vita as well right after.
I mean, it's a janky game, it's a janky plat, and it's possible we found a game that has outspammed you. Perhaps you haven't descended so low yet that this is just common. This is just common easiness for you. But you're on your way. I mean, you'll look back at this
Yeah.
and think, this was a
Yes.
gem, a
I
gem.
I honestly I thought there were more versions of this. Like, I thought
Yes,
this was like a
it's
Ratalaika game
travesty.
because I always see it on sale. Yeah, no.
Mm, mm.
And I also have a challenge for you this week.
Yes, well, so you've decided we're going to throw one back and forth or something here, a spam game, I'm hoping, of sorts. So,
Yes.
because I have enough longer
Oh
games.
no, it's definitely a spam game, and it's little to no effort for you. So I made sure it was easy.
Okay.
So last week after you threw this out at me, I'm like, oh, God damn it, he really did that or whatever. Like called me out on the show. So then like I went into your PSN profiles and I started.
Ah, so that's what you did on your day off.
No, so there was yeah, there was a lot of stuff in there or whatever, and like I'm just like I don't even know where to begin.
Either do I.
I actually went to True Trophies, and I went to every. No, this was way easier because when you sort it by completion percent, it sorts everything of 100 at the top, and then you have to scroll way, way, way down to find like zeros. And so I went to True Trophies and I sorted it by completion percentage, and you could go ascending or descending on there. And I found a real gem for you that you only have one trophy in, and it's actually a game I recommended here on the show, and it's Rememoried, where you literally hold like the R1 button to skip the level, and you get the trophy for it.
Yes, Rememory. Now, I should play this because I think there's 2 stacks of this too, isn't there, I believe, for the PlayStation?
There is two stacks. You had one of them. You had started one of them and had one trophy in it.
Yes,
But I feel like this is something that you should do because
I agree.
you don't actually have to play it.
Yeah, well, look, that is perfect for me, sir. I'm out of all the things on my list, I'm glad you found the thing that I don't have to play, and I'm shocked that I missed it, to be honest with you. I wonder if I played it before the glitch was known, maybe, or something. I don't know, because this was a glitch that came from Xbox, I think, wasn't it? I think that's where I first heard about it too, and then came
Yeah,
across to the PlayStation. So, interesting. Okay, remembered. I will knock that out this week, sir. I look forward to holding. Is it the R1 or the L1 button? I'll brace myself.
I don't know. I don't remember what it was because
I'll hold them both.
I don't know. All I remember was I played it legit, and the game was only like 30 minutes. So now it's like 5.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Good. Well, if it's not, I do remember something about one of the stacks being an exorbitant price, so I definitely didn't get that one. But I'll look into it again, and we can talk more on that next week. But why don't we shuffle across now to some games that we'd like to talk about today, Joe, to boost the levels here of our listeners, the gamer score, the platinum count, whatever tickles your fancy. So, what would you like to start with, Joe?
I unfortunately have no Xbox love this week.
That's all right.
Yeah, but I do have so yesterday I spammed my way through the Nico Para series.
Yes.
There's 3 of them. They're usually $15 each. They're usually pretty on sale quite frequently. There's also a EU stack of the third one, and they take anywhere between 10 and 20 minutes each. All 100% games, all visual novels, all with no choices.
Perfect, isn't it? I can just see they should contact you next time they want to, release one of these games, and they could put your quote on the back. These are fantastic 100% games take literally no effort. Critic, cool kid Joe. That would be fantastic because you're right. That's
Yeah,
very true. The majority of people
yeah.
play them that way.
I mean, the only real effort that you have to do is like in the middle of the game, you have to pause it and change language to Chinese and Japanese,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Yeah. So these games usually retail for around 1,600 to 2,000 yen. I think rarely do they come on sale, Joe. I'm trying to think back, but I think they pretty much hold their price on that store. So something to consider there, listeners. If you're looking for those, so I'll throw out. I've got some good ones this week. I'll throw out this Tamamari complete edition. Have you come across this, Joe?
I saw it in the doc, and I definitely looked it up on PSN profiles while we were having some issues pre-recording.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is this? And then I saw the time that it took some people to complete it, and then I bought it.
Yeah, no, it's perfect. It's not too pricey. It's by the developer Turnox. Now there is a wonderful guide by Chivo Guides over on the Xbox. And Joe, I like the Chivo guides because he's having a bit of a laugh with himself throughout. And there is a God mode in this game. I mean, without the God mode, it would be much longer and much more difficult. But he makes many references and cracks and jokes about the God mode throughout the 30 so minute video. So if you are gonna use a video guide, and you probably do need a video guide for the collectibles. It's an enjoyable one, and I believe it's also about 10 minutes quicker than any of the other video guides. Of course, he does fast forward through the bosses, but with the God mode on, you don't need to you don't need to see them in real time anyway. So what you're getting if you get this game, it's great value, Joe. You're getting two games. You're getting Tamamari complete edition, and you're also getting some other game that I'm not really sure. It's sort of almost like a flash game. I think they've thrown in there. So for the second game, there are two achievements. It's really, really simple. You just need to build a combo of to level 5, which takes less than a minute. And then you need to farm 100 stars. So that might take you 5 minutes of just playing that sort of flash game level of, it's just a beat 'em up basically of side scrolling enemies coming in from either side to buy the character. And then you get into the Tamamari, Joe. You get into the meat of this game here. And you do so with the God mode, of course, which is, it works for PS4 or Xbox. I won't go into it. It's in the video. It's very easy to follow. Basically, there are 4 levels in this game. Each level is divided up into smaller sort of sub levels, if you like, that run continuously, but have checkpoints on every single one of them. Because you've got God mode on, you can't die. You do have 6 lives, though. You start with 6 lives. So when you run out of lives, you do in effect die, but you only reset to the last checkpoint. So it's not like you have to restart the whole level again or anything like that. So it is a side scroller. There are platforming elements. As I said, without the God mode, it would be very tough. There are 8 collectibles per level. Probably 6 of the 8 are very easy to find, two slightly well hidden. If you follow the guide, though, you won't miss anything. Nothing is missable in that you can replay the whole level if you want. But if you're just there for the quick plat, and I believe he says in his guide it'll take you 2 hours, but I believe you could probably do it in an hour if you just sat down and did it. If you so wish to do it that quickly. There's a couple of miscellaneous, or maybe only one miscellaneous trophy of a hidden character, but you'll find that. The quirk of this game, though, Joe, is the stars trophies. There's a trophy for getting 750 stars, which for me popped at around 1,532, which is quite common apparently. And there's a 1,500 star trophy for me, which popped around the 2,300 ish mark, which is also quite common. There's a fantastic method for farming in that video as well. That's probably where the longest part of your gameplay will take. And then the final level, Joe, is bizarre because it's probably the longest playable part of the game, about 10 minutes. It's a continuous level with 4 or 5 boss fights that you have to do. But again, it's all very easy. It's nice. What do you have for us next?
The next game I picked, showing the PS3 a little love this week, which I do not do very often. This is one that you also haven't played, which I looked into before we started recording. It's MLB 13, the show, Home Run Derby. 4 trophies, 100% game, and you have to hit a home run to left field, center field, right field, and then hit 2 in a row. It takes less than 10 minutes. The game is $6 normally.
How much skill is involved in that hitting left and right?
Not very many.
Excellent.
So if you want to hit the ball to left field, you usually just hold down left on the left thumbstick, and it will usually, as long as you kind of swing with relatively within the right time and get enough like power on the ball or contact on the ball or whatever, it'll usually go over like the left field fence. And it's pretty lenient too, or whatever. Like it doesn't have to be like, like down the left field line, or it could be like, it has to be like in the left like quadrant of the outfield. I played this game a long time ago, like when it first came out, because I buy the show every year. So
So this was just like a little demo, basically, then for this year 13.
so usually like the MLB The Show games have like a home run derby mode in it. And the home run derby they have during the
Hmm.
All-Star break, which there is not one this year because of everything going on. They canceled the All-Star game. It's very exciting usually. They just changed the format the last couple of years, so it's really exciting. And like I don't like you just like watch guys just like hit balls like way 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 in like the third deck of the stadium, and like it's really impressive too. But this game is just like that one mode. It's $6. could finish it, and you should finish it in like less than 10 minutes.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, I think I might have euthanized my PS3, years ago. But look, I'll see if I can bring it back on life support because this sounds like something I should do and clean up on. Is this on Xbox as well, or is this just PlayStation?
Well, it's the show, which is developed by Sony,
Oh, of course. Yes. Yeah, that's right.
so
Yeah. You can tell
until next year.
how much baseball I play. It's funny you bring this up. We can deviate here slightly. Why not? There's actually I don't know if it's an MLB game, but there is a baseball. Well, it's not a traditional MLB game, that's for sure. There is a baseball game on PSVR. I don't know if you've played that at all. It's more of a hitting simulator, I think.
Hmm.
There's no career mode or whatever else. You don't. I'll dig up on this because it's not. It's about a 3 or 4 hour plat with a bit of a grind, but there's a few methods. There's a few dodginess in the game, but we'll touch on that in the coming weeks. I'll dig that up. There's 2 stacks of that VR game too.
I'm
It's not
excited.
too bad. Yeah, I'll dig up on that. So, what can I throw next? Now, I mentioned this game a couple of weeks ago, and then it was pulled from the store because of an early release. But it is coming out next week. It's already out on the Switch though, but it will be on PlayStation next week. And this is a Fold Apart, developed by Lightning Rod Games. Now, it's only 100% game. It consists of 6 chapters, a few miscellaneous trophies, but they come naturally through completing the chapters. And it does have a series of text choices, mobile phone messages back and forth, where you get to choose some text. Now, the text choices don't matter, so you can choose whatever you want. It doesn't affect the trophies. Basically, this is an origami style platformer puzzler. You're folding the corners of the screen in, which changes the pages if you like, and moves platforms around, so you can move around. It starts off very easy up until about chapter 3. Then it gets progressively quite difficult by chapters 4, 5, and 6. The spamminess in this game, Joe, comes in that it has a hint function. If you push the start button and go to the pause menu, you can enable the hint for the level. Now, one of the great things is it does the hints in sort of steps. So each time you want the next hit, you just push the crossbar button. When you push it, though, it actually does the hint for you. So you don't have to watch it and then replicate it. It just moves all the things around. So if you just basically becomes a VN. If you just keep spamming the X button, if you don't want to complete the level, it will complete it for you, and then you just walk over to the next section. If you are using that method, I'm sure it's less than an hour. If you're trying to work it out for yourself, it's 3 to 4 hours. It's incredibly sad game. It's about long distance relationships between a teacher and an architect, and it's just about life. As I said, some beautiful music, and it's quite sad, but also very very easy completion. But look, it's one that I would, depending on price, I would definitely recommend. It's unique, and it's a lovely experience for a few hours. And then the last one I'll tag on here, but with a warning, still waiting for a guide on this if anyone would like to write one. This is Infinite Beyond the Mind by Emily Koyo, published by Bluefish. Now, this Infinite Beyond the Mind, it's a retro futuristic platform. It has a really great music score. It's the best thing about this game. Game starts off good with tight controls. They get progressively loose by the end. It becomes quite thick, I suppose is a good way to put it. The platforming is not well judged, I think, in the final boss fight either. It can be a little bit frustrating, but a lot of this can be alleviated by the fact that it does have a glitch in it. If you double tap the L1, you can skip levels, and if you double tap the R1, it'll actually skip you right to the final level where you can pick up the trophies for playing on easy, medium, and expert. It also makes the finishing the game in 1 hour and difficulty, very very simple. There's also a trophy for killing less than, I think, 500 enemies. Now, if you skip right to the end, you're going to easily kill less than 500. So it does make a lot of the difficult trophies easy. The only challenge, therefore, in this game becomes in the collectibles. You need the collectibles to get the different endings, and there is no guide yet for the collectibles. So when that does happen, Joe, I have a feeling this game will be about an hour or maybe 2 hour completion as well, and it does
Ooh.
have a platinum. So we'll wait, because I'm hoping that will come. Now, I'm going to throw to you because we both chose not to engage in the Rataplat of the week this week, Thy Sword, by the developer Game Phase. But you watched a video of it, I'm told. So can you share anything with us on this?
Yeah, so I watched Bad Driver's video on this, and the bosses look a little unforgiving. I played a little bit, like I downloaded it, and I saw some of my Xbox friends say that this was the hardest Ratalaika game that they've played. So I'm like, oh, well, I'm not gonna throw it on my card or whatever if I can't complete it, because what's it called? People would be like, "Oh, Joe couldn't even finish that Red Alert game," or whatever, and which I get all the time, apparently. Yeah, so I kind of like I downloaded it and I played it. It has like a retro look. The bosses are kind of difficult for my exceptionally casual ass.
I've heard that from a few people though.
Yeah, the first one I was having trouble with. The good thing though is like when you get to a boss, it's checkpoint. If you die at a regular level though, you have to start the entire series of levels over again, which kind of sucks.
Okay.
But yeah, like those bosses, like some of those bosses were not very easy. Like I had some trouble on like the first one when I played it. I was not a fan. I want easier stuff.
Yes, yeah. Well, I noticed that it says you can play solo or co-op, so I don't know if that makes it any easier or not. I don't know. That could be something for someone to investigate. Now, I was going to ask you, Joe. You probably haven't bothered to look because you weren't a fan of it, but I noticed that this was double the price of a normal Ratalaika game in the AU store, like $14 or $15 for the crossbuy. So I have a feeling it's the same in the US. It's more expensive than the normal game. So I suppose we'll see if there's a price increase coming, or if it was just for this more difficult title.
Yeah. What's it called? This one was 10, but like I think Reed was $5, so I think maybe this game is like there's a little bit more to this game, or maybe it was like a little bit more expensive for them to license, so
Mm.
they increased the price, kind of like with what was that other one from a couple weeks ago? The point and click one, I think it was.
Yeah, yeah, that was because you're probably right. Well, be careful what you ask for, listeners. You got more game with your spam this time, and maybe you didn't want that. I definitely didn't. So it doesn't sound like Joe did either. So look, Joe, I think
I use my grumpy tone of voice when I ask for easier stuff.
Well, I think we're going to be saved next week because it looks like the next week's one may be some sort of a car destruction derby or something like this. I'm not sure, a demolition thing. So it looks like it's back to the usual format. So we will pick it up there. But if you're looking for a harder rattle like a game because you don't want to be embarrassed by your the quality of the spam on your trophy list, perhaps this is the one. This is the one for you. So, Joe, we're at that point. Is there anything that interests you in the coming week here to blast away your precious hard earned on?
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff this week actually. I was quite
Ooh.
surprised. It looks like we're getting Mafia 2 on Tuesday.
Oh, okay. Didn't realize.
Yeah, Mafia 2 Definitive Edition. The first one is also coming. I'm not sure if that's also that day as well. Because apparently there's an announcement coming sometime this week for that. I've seen some
Mhm.
screenshots for the first game. Apparently they rebuilt it from the ground up and added more content to it. So that one I haven't played. 2 was really good. 3 was meh. So I'm really looking forward to playing the first game again, as well as the second one with the remaster, and I'm sure it'll come with all the DLC and stuff as well. Hopefully, that little glitch is in it for the or they just dump that trophy where you have to get the like you have to drive 1,000 miles in the car.
That sounds thrilling.
I don't know if you've done that or not, but
No.
on the 360, and I'm not sure about the PS3, but you can literally like drive the car into like a certain area and it'll just like fall through the level, but it'll keep driving and
I
it'll
like
rack
that.
up your 1,000 miles. Yeah.
That is fantastic. What else interests you this week?
Saints Row the Third comes out this week as well. I'm a big fan. That's my
Yeah.
favorite Saints Row game. Big fan of it. Definitely way more fun in co-op
Mhm.
as well. My buddy Chad and I usually play all of those together, so he probably won't get it right away because it's $40, but I will support it because that is a game that I enjoy. Also, I pre-ordered Maneater.
What is Maneater?
Maneater is I don't know very much about it. I watched a quick trailer on it, and it looks like you just kind of play as a shark and I don't know what you do in it because I don't really like deep dive into trailers. Like if I kind of like see something, I'll like kind of glimpse at it for like a second. So like my knowledge going into like when I play stuff and pre-order stuff is very 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 minimal because no
Nice.
and I think it's like my attitude or whatever like that is if I don't watch something I
Yeah.
won't get excited for it and then I won't be disappointed.
Yeah, it doesn't spoil it for you either. I can understand that. Yeah.
Yeah, because if I get it, like when you watch like trailers or whatever, and something looks really good and then it is not, that I mean, you experience tons of. So usually when I'm disappointed is when it's something disappointing.
It's funny you mentioned that because I did read the description. There's a fantastic description on the PlayStation Drop, and they actually describe that game as a Shark PG. It's like an RPG, but Shark PG.
That is fantastic.
I think that's fantastic. So you're gonna have to tell me what that's like because I'm very interested in that now that I know what it is. Yeah, that's good. That's a lot, Joe. Your wallet's gonna take a beating this week. So for me, listeners, there's not a lot. I'm sort of bouncing around a little bit at the moment, and I really wanted to pick up the aftermath for Mortal Kombat 11, and I know there's a bit of diciness around the pricing and people or whatever, blah, but the aftermath, I'm not that interested in the characters or whatever. I'm more interested in the story. Apparently, they've added another 3 to 4 hours ish, I believe, of story. Now, I understand there's no trophies for it or anything else, but I quite enjoy the Mortal Kombat
Yet,
only for the story. Yet, that's right, only for the story. So I've been backing and forwarding it, and because of the way the pricing works, it almost means like you're buying the game again, which I was trying to figure out whether I really wanted to play it. And then anyway, the other night I decided to do so. Now, the funny thing is I don't have a save on my system because it had corrupted previously and I deleted it, but I'm pretty sure that game, everything's online anyway. I know it pings consistently, so I'm hoping my save data is on the servers. If not, I'll just play the story again. That's fine. So I went ahead and did that. And like, I mean, if you can get your head around the fact that if you've already paid it once as a full price game and now you're basically buying it again, the way the DLC drops work, it seems like you're getting a lot of content. You're getting a lot of character passes and stuff like that, and this extra story. So I think that's going to be my main thing for this week. And then look, maybe if you tell me this Shark RPG thing is good, I might have to jump on that as well. I think, but I think that's enough, Joe. Are you going to be whacking out another 17 plats? I'm getting a little concerned this week.
hopefully, what's it called? I mean, like, as long as I have my day off this week or whatever, I ain't got anything planned because there's literally nothing to do.
Well, if you're coming up short of stuff to play, let me recommend this Persona 5 Royale. You could start that and knock it over in 6 months or so, and it'd be a great addition to your list. uh,
Yeah, so there's a little bit of a problem with that, and it's I like things on disc
okay,
usually,
fair enough.
and that's a game that I would buy on disc, and a lot of the newer games that have come out, you can't find them here.
That's a great excuse.
No, 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 no. Like Final Fantasy VII's been sold out since it's came out. Persona 5 has been sold out. Animal Crossing has been sold out. My local GameStop actually, because they basically shut down the entire state of New York, they got like my buddy said they got like 70 copies transferred in, and they sold them like that day because nobody has anything to do. So
Yeah.
yeah, they're not shipping stuff. They're only shipping pre-orders to the stores, and you can't really pre-order anything because you can't go in the store to pre-order stuff.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Well, you can go with that for a while anyway, and then when everything starts back to normal, you'll have to create another excuse. But that's that's understandable.
No, like I have the regular Persona game.
Oh, well, don't play that one. That takes even longer, I'm told, with the trophies and stuff. So be careful, or achievements. So be careful of that. If you do it. So look, Joe, why don't we leave the listeners here? Because I think we're just going to go now and drop a little bit of Guitar Hero love, if you can indulge me for a little while, for our second part of our plastic instrument history of the plastic instruments for our Patreon. So we'll leave you, wonderful listeners, here now. Have a wonderful week, and as I said, if you manage to knock out 17 plats this week, by all means let us know. We could even give you a shout out if you so wish. But until then, be well, score plenty, I suppose. And thank you, Joe.
You're very welcome.